Can hear you guys. I can hear y'all.
Very nice. Welcome, Marshall.
There he is.
Well,
Don't drive and Zoom, Marshall.
We are pulled over in Marietta,
Okay.
Georgia.
I thought he was driving down the highway. I will now call this meeting to order. If you would follow along with the pledge, and Marshall, will you give the invocation?
Sure.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Will you all bow your heads with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening, the opportunity to gather together as citizens and community leaders in order to discuss things of the future and that will benefit us as the city of Branson moving forward. We ask you to give us wisdom and discernment and open hearts as we listen tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Marshall. Can we get a roll call, please, Madam Clerk?
Lucas, Denham, Cooper,
Here.
Milton,
Yep.
Howden,
Here.
LeBlanc,
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Your Honor, you have a quorum, and let the record show Alderman Howden is attending remotely.
Okay. I'm excited about this presentation. We're going to hear from Becky Jewsbury on our Branson Veterans Task Force. No. Okay.
Okay. Oh, there we are. All right. Well, hello. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Becky Jewsbury, and I'm the chair for the Branson Veterans Task Force. I appreciate your time today, and a special thank you to Kathy and her staff for helping in getting all of this arranged today. I'd also like to thank those of you that took the time in the audience today to come out and support us. So we can all agree that Branson values its veterans, and it is important to continue the legacy of patriotism that this community was built on. We are here today to look for ways that we can collaborate and strategize to ensure continued success for veteran events in Branson. So today I will share with you who the task force is and what we do in the community. I will also talk about the progress that's been made over the past few years, as well as opportunities as well as opportunities that we have regarding recruitment and partnerships. We'll end today with a Q&A and hopefully solutions that will enable the task force to continue serving the community. So I'd like to start with our mission statement. The Branson Veterans Task Force exists to empower our communities to create an environment of patriotic pride and dignity, to recognize and honor our nation's veterans and their families. So this year will mark the 92nd year that Branson has had its Veterans Day Parade, a tradition that speaks volumes regarding how our community feels about its veterans. In my research, it appears that Branson Veterans Task Force was founded in 1997 and worked with other veteran organizations to develop the first Branson Veterans Week. So that was about 27 years ago. I would like to introduce you to our board. We have 11 board members, some veterans, others that just love veterans, and we have one paid employee that takes care of our social media presence. I would like to point out that most of our board members have full-time careers. They have large families, and so this is just something that they are doing in their spare time. So we facilitate several events annually. I'd like to start off telling you about our Purple Heart reunion. This event historically was handled by a company in Branson. However, post-COVID, they approached the task force asking if we would consider taking it over. We have had the honor of hosting this event for the last 2 years. We just completed the reunion for this year 2 weeks ago. The week is full of events, such as a fishing tournament designed to allow those in wheelchairs access to fish from a boat, to a dinner and dance where we had cadets serving our veterans in their dress blues. We had live music, there were several shows and attractions to include the Patriot Park at C of O, as well as opening and closing ceremonies. The next event for the year is the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony. This is at Branson Landing. We've partnered with the Brett family, offering support in setup, tear down, and planning. We also have the Pearl Harbor Ceremony at Alderman Cooper's Theater. This is a short ceremony at the beginning of the show to remind those in the audience of the sacrifices made for our freedom. Veterans Week is by far our busiest time of the year. I'd like to walk you through the events so you are aware of what we do and what it takes to make it happen. Our biggest event of the week is the Veterans Village. This is located at Ballparks of America, who have been generous enough to maintain this partnership that was established so long ago. They have given us space in Building 3 as well as all of Building 2. These two areas are used for several purposes. We have a registration area where a veteran gives us their contact information and we provide them with a name tag. This area also has vendors set up in it. The next room is a continuance of the vendors, so we can accommodate 40 vendors between the two spaces. We also have a few vendors that prefer to set up outside. The next and maybe most popular room is the day room. This area is basically a hospitality suite on steroids. There's live music daily, we have coffee, tea, water, snacks, daily raffles, and most importantly, tables and chairs. These allow our veterans to connect with each other, to visit, and to heal. Moving down the row, we have our Veteran Organization Services Room. It includes the Missouri Vets Commission, Veterans Healthcare System of the Ozarks, United Veterans Benefit Agency, the VA Vet Center of the Ozarks, and more. This is also a very popular room as it allows our veterans an opportunity to get assistance with and navigate the red tape of their claims. Last and certainly not least is the mess hall, where we feed our veterans a daily lunch for free, charging their guests a minimal fee. This room can accommodate 100 guests at a time. Last year, we fed 2,500 for the week. This room is dependent on our restaurant sponsors to provide the food, as there is no kitchen in the room. Proceeds go back to the restaurant to help cover the cost of the food. There are times that the restaurant will donate to the task force, which is such a blessing to us. Before I move on to our next event, I want to mention the amount of work that goes into Veterans Village. The spaces that we use are blank canvases. So we have to set up the tables and chairs, mark the booth spaces, put up pipe and drape, stock the kitchens with paper goods for the lunches and the snacks, make sure that we have enough snacks, coffee for the day room, work with entertainers to arrange for music, and the list goes on. As you can imagine, this is quite an undertaking. Outside of the village, we do have a few events during Veterans Week, the first being our Veterans Celebration Show. Produced by Tina Cooper, it lasts about 2 hours, providing primarily entertainment for our veterans. However, this year, I am hopeful to get a representative from the Space Force to come out and present during the show. We also have, so if anyone has connections, I would love. So we also have the Rose Petal Ceremony on November 8th at noon, which is designed to honor our lady veterans. We provide lunch, a keynote speaker, a memorial service where the ladies lay rose petals in a fountain, as well as door prizes and an auction. The next two events are the Medic, Nurses, and Combat Veteran Reunion and the Navy Memorial Service. I created the Medic Reunion a few years ago, giving combat vets the space to reconnect and say thank you to the medical teams that helped to save lives on the battlefields. The Navy Memorial Service has been entrusted to us by Carl Dietrich, who has facilitated this event for the last 15 years or so. We took over this event last year as he was no longer able to do the work. Our last event for the year is Wreaths Across America in mid-December. We sell wreaths to lay at the headstone of our hometown heroes for both the Branson Cemetery in the historic downtown Branson area and the Ozark Memorial Park Cemetery. The Branson Cemetery has 24 veterans laid to rest, while Ozark Memorial Park has 1,100. This event starts the week before, making sure that all veteran graves are marked with an American flag so that on the day of the event, our volunteers will know where to place the wreaths. We also have a police escort for the semi-truck that delivers the wreaths the day of. We then rely on volunteers to assist us in unloading the truck and staging the wreaths around the cemetery. We then have a short ceremony and lay the wreaths. So now that you've had a glimpse at what we do, let's talk money. Do you like that transition? So the task force operates annually with a $10,000 budget. I just want to let that sink in for a minute. $10,000.
Wait, that's what y'all currently work with?
Yes, sir. This money comes primarily from two fundraisers, the Vendor Village and Wreaths Across America. We do also receive donations from individuals throughout the year, and we have received a couple of grants in the last 2 years. So the last few years, we have focused on trying to be more sustainable. We were able to purchase all the tables and chairs for the Veterans Village with a grant we received, as well as a portable sound system. In the years past, we had to rent this equipment to the tune of $2,500 to $3,000. We are also working on getting all the pipe and drape needed. We were given a good amount last year, however, still need 100 linear feet. As I mentioned earlier, we have hired someone to take care of our social media posts, and we have rebuilt our website, allowing us to accept donations and payments online. Another big win for us has been in the partnerships we've created within the community. Holiday Hills always sends over pickup trucks and employees to assist with unloading the wreaths. Price Chopper and Titanic have been amazing partners for us. 913 Veterans of America have supported us and helped us with some of the events, as well as POW Network. So we need you, and that's why we're here tonight. So Veterans Week is very well advertised. Our veterans seem to know about Veterans Week specifically. However, we need help getting the word out about our other events. Our Purple Heart recipients are returning the surveys that we sent out, and they want more people at their event, and they want younger veterans. At its peak, the Purple Heart reunion had 100 recipients at the reunion. This year, we had 19. Another gap that needs to be filled is educating our local veterans. So many local veterans are unaware of what happens in Branson. We also need help in figuring out ways to collaborate better with veteran organizations in Branson. Everyone seems to be in their own silo. I would love for us to be more connected. One thought is to form a committee or a council that could help with communication, plan, and execute events and services. And last but not least, we need help in recruitment and the workforce. We need more boots on the ground. Veterans Week, we clearly need a lot of help. The village is mostly covered through volunteers that we have worked with over the years, GoCap students. However, the other events during the week we could use help with, as well as throughout the year. As a reminder, we are a board of 11. I'm concerned that if we don't have community support and fundraising, the board will dissolve, which would be such a shame. One of my favorite quotes is from President Reagan. He said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction." I firmly believe this, and I feel that we should do all we can to honor those that have made their sacrifices. Hopefully, our community will stand together, work together to honor our veterans that have served. Let's continue the legacy of honoring our Vietnam veterans and look for ways to embrace the new veteran. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Wow. Any members of the board have any questions or comments for Becky?
First, I'd just like to say thanks for what your committee does. It's fantastic,
Thank you.
just fantastic.
Thank you.
Can you tell me, are you organized as a 501c3 or what your financial structure is?
Yes, we are 501c3.
What? You said your budget's 10,000. What number would make life better?
You know,
I mean, a reason, if you were
Sure.
reasonably,
Do you have a checkbook? And okay. You know, any amount is greatly appreciated. I mean, if we had an influx of 25,000, I think we could do amazing things. There's so many things that we want to do that we just don't have time and resources. I mean, one of the big things for me is I would love for us to create an app for our veterans. And all of our veteran events be on this app, and we could mass communicate through the app. In my world, that's easy, but I'm not an IT person. But something that would be user-friendly for them, that would allow us as a community to communicate with them about what's going on, you know, for our event that we have this weekend, for instance, you know, something that we could do a mass communication to them, as well as give them updates while they're in town. So things like that, I don't even know how much that cost, you know. So the sky's the limit. You know, any amount is greatly appreciated and will help. I mean, you see what we're doing with 10, you know, at an average. It ebbs and flows, but our average, you know, is about 10,000. We had a little bit of an influx because we received a grant for 10,000 and another for 2,500. And so those two grants allowed us to buy all of the equipment and do those things, so.
Well, I don't want to put words into other people's mouths up here, but I believe they would all say the same thing, that this is very, I mean, it is our mission, I mean, faith, family, flag, I mean, most patriotic city in America. I mean, to me, this is one of our should be one of our main focuses, and I believe it is catering to our veterans. And I'd love to see us, you know, maybe could I just get your checkbook and I'll just surprise her? But I would love to see us, you know, do something to help. You know, Ed Beasley was at my show that night that we had this Purple Heart thing. And in my lobby, I have a big frame thing of Ed and a picture of him in the wheelchair and a picture of him when he was enlisted and the whole story about him losing his legs and stuff. And the next night at the show, there was a guy that came up to me after the show, and he goes, "Hey, I noticed that picture of Ed Beasley on your wall." He said, "Do you know Ed?" I said, "Well, yeah, of course I know Ed." And he goes, "I replaced him when he got injured, and they hauled him out. I replaced him in that unit, and I've never met the guy, but I've heard stories about him my entire life and always wanted to meet this Ed Beasley."
Right.
So I gave him Ed's phone number. They had lunch. They met the next day, had lunch together, took pictures. And that's the kind of, those stories is why we do this.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And our veterans are so eager to reconnect. We try to do surveys after every event because at the end of the day, it's their event and we want it to be what they are looking for. And so we very much depend on these surveys, and we keep getting that they want to figure out a way where they can find out who's in Branson during Veterans Week while they're here. And so their idea was poster boards, which, God love them, very, very ambitious. But I'm sure that there's a software program out there somewhere that we could make that happen, where we could, you know, put it in where they could divide by branch and where they served or years that were served, and then maybe somehow communicate to the other veteran, hey, one of your guys is here at the day room, so that they can reconnect.
Great idea. Becky, I'll tell you. Sure, come on up. Yeah.
Mary Shantag, POW Network. I've been working here in Branson with veterans for 28 years as of this November. We also are a 501(c)(3). When we came to Branson 28 years ago, the task force was a part of the city of Branson and funded through a grant for tourism by the city of Branson. Eventually, the city said, "You're strong enough, you can do this on your own." It became a standalone 501(c)(3). During all of that time, we had citywide meetings. All the veterans groups would meet once a month, May through October. What we're doing, what the events were, who was planning what. It made the newspapers every month. It was an hour long. It was on top of Branson Bank now, but there was a meeting room up there when it was one of the other banks. We had other individuals involved. We ended up taking over the formal, the gala, from MOA when they got too old to be able to do that. As time went on, and we added to our portion of Homecoming Week's calendar, people gave up the POWMIA service. We said we'll do it. People gave up the Korean War Memorial, or the memorial reunion, because nobody wanted to support it. We took it on. The same with World War II. The same with the Vietnam reunion. So our group covers the mini reunions for all the eras. We do World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Sandbox, a spouses luncheon, the POWMIA service, an opening show, and we partner with Walmart on Walmart's dime for a closing show and tribute, and a lunch that last year fed almost 2,000 people for free. We round out that week, but it all came from somebody else giving up, and we picked up the pieces. We're an educational 501. Our main purpose is to educate on those missing from our wars. We have a tribute at every event we do. We do the POWMIA service. This year, the wall's not going to be set up for our Vietnam vets. It is now property of the police department.
Mary, actually, the Vietnam Wall that was at the Welk Theater.
Right.
We negotiated with the Welk. The city of Branson owns that now. And so our intent was to install it at our new police department, put lights on it, give it all the respect. It's, as you know, it's a
Right.
big wall. And what was most important to them was that the wall ended up at a place where they know it would be sound and respected for many, many years to come. So that's clearly ours as a community.
And I understand that, but because the police department building is not ready for display yet for that purpose, for the next few years, 2 years probably at the least, it will not be displayed, will it?
I believe, I don't want to speak out of school. We do have a home for it this Veterans Week.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because as of now, we have it
No.
noted as not being displayed, and I know it's going to break a lot of hearts if it doesn't get put up someplace.
No way. If it has to go in my backyard, it's going to be displayed.
That's good to know. We will get the calendar edited
But
when
go
we do
ahead,
the
I
next
didn't mean to
version.
interrupt you. I just wanted to clarify.
But we have picked up where the pieces have fallen away. And then in working with the task force, I am a past board member of the task force. When we had a stable building, and those of us that volunteered 2 to 3 days a week at it, and we did a lot of events in town, a lot of answering questions for visitors who came. Where can I get help? Where can I go for medical care? Do you have a service officer? We just filled in blanks. But it seems that everything now has almost taken a back seat. Just, I guess I want to say for money. It seems the patriotism has fallen off. The focus on veterans in advertising has fallen off. We print our own flyers now. Our group has a little more income than Becky's. We are at about a $50,000 a year range and have been for 30 of our 34 years. So we do a lot of the door prizes in town. That we gather and share with all of the groups on that calendar, Becky's group's included. So where there are door prizes at the events, our veterans get in free. We fundraise. Our catering bill alone last year was $10,000. Our Vietnam veterans is a 500-person event. Our spouses is 500 people. And it's hard to find a place in town that's big enough to hold them. It's hard to find catering to be able to do that sometimes. And now we're looking at actually bringing somebody in from Kansas City. And so the coordination, the commitment, the news sharing is what's gotten lost. All of the chambers in the area used to have nonprofit committees. And they went, we're too busy with we just can't have that many meetings. So Table Rock dropped it, and Branson dropped it, and Forsyth, I think it was Forsyth dropped it. Because nonprofits are different than any other portion of this community. We're not a housing, we're not motels, we're not restaurants, and we're not a show. But in the background, you have a vet in trouble, that's us. We're helping them. While we are not a service organization, we can get them to a service officer, to housing, to pay a gas bill, to help fix a car. But the ability to speak together as a nonprofit community is very, very hard when there's, I guess, no support from a chamber or a city hall or another organization. And even our citywide meetings, just for information, just fell off the charts.
Mary, I'm sorry, and I probably should know this, but what is the organization you're speaking of?
We're the POW network.
Okay.
And we are on the flyer with Dee and with Becky's information on there. Your show's also on there. Clay is #1 this year because you're early. Last year, we were the last show because we were late. But
I was talking to the clerk when you came up.
I'm sorry, that's okay. But we've been here 28 years. We've been a nonprofit for going on 34. So, but we are educational, and we strive to do that at street fairs, at vendor villages, at wherever we can set up a booth. That's where we're out, and we're sharing flyers and calendars and information wherever we go in this country, and we do reunions across the country. And we are always promoting Branson because it is so important to our veterans. If we can get them here one time, they come back, and they bring friends and families and generations with them. And they come back here because we still treat them with respect.
Mary,
So,
what's
thank you,
your
Mary.
#1 ask of the aldermen here?
I think we need better support, better visibility, better advertising. And Larry, I hate to put you on the spot, but many years ago I asked you a question. I said, who oversees the chamber's grants for tourism? Who knows what they do with that money? Because we couldn't see where the veterans were getting their fair share of tourism dollars. And if all of us walked away tomorrow, you'd miss us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary. Becky, would you, I don't know if you were through with your presentation.
Thank you. So a lot of what she was saying, I think, could be addressed with a Veterans Council that I suggested earlier, and maybe not to put our CVB and chamber on the spot, but maybe they could be Switzerland for us. And, you know, they have lots of meeting space there, and maybe we could convene there, you know, once a month or once a quarter or whatever that looked like, just to, if nothing else, just start the communication again between the different groups. I have had a very good relationship with Mr. Lee Stevenson, who couldn't be here with us tonight, but he's with 913 Veterans of America. He's the president there. And in the last 2 years, we've really tried to work together. He's come out with some of his members to help us lay flags, wreaths across America. They've helped with the fishing tournament. So I do see that there are organizations that want to work together just to make these events stronger and hopefully to keep them from going away.
You know, if anybody knows, you know where my heart is,
I do.
right? This is a big deal, and the timing of this is probably very, very good. Between your organization, 913, Mary, we do need to be collaborative. I would love, and I'll be as involved as you would like, I would love to start off with a meeting, a regular meeting, because we're all, our hearts are the same, right? We may have different missions of how we're getting there, but we're all here for the same reasons. It's not a coincidence. At the Board of Aldermen meeting tonight, I'm reading a proclamation. I'm not naming it, I'm giving a proclamation. May is Military Appreciation Month nationwide. There's reason for that. Armed Forces Day is May 18th. There are several events in May nationwide, which is why May has been chosen. I would like to, when I say spearhead, I would like to get with you and start focusing on next year, my chamber's here, to create May as another event. It won't be a Veterans Week. I think it could easily grow into another Veterans Week. What means a lot to our vets is their camaraderie amongst each other. So instead of them coming to Branson once a year, let's give them an opportunity to come to Branson twice a year. Right?
Absolutely.
This Saturday, Tony Orlando is putting on an Armed Forces Appreciation event. It's at the Encore Theater. It's from 6 to 7:30. Something we can add into all these topics is we have an opportunity that's been placed in front of us for, to include Medal of Honor recipients. How many veterans that come in Veterans Week and come in May would love to sit and visit with a couple Medal of Honor recipients? There's 62 living Medal of Honor recipients remaining. And we're going to have 2 of them in Branson on Saturday, right? The expo event at the airport, that is a huge, huge deal. It's on Armed Forces Day. So what this organization wants to do, it's called Tribute to Valor Foundation. What they want to do is they would love to become a part of Branson. Can you just imagine the Medal of Honor recipients, the organizations we currently have here, all working together? Different missions, different tactics, different strategies, but the same heart. I can see May, I'm serious, I could see May as building into another one of our Veterans Weeks, right?
Sure.
So
And I think-
go ahead.
I think if we could, maybe really be diligent and focused on also trying to make whatever May looks like for military to speak to our younger veterans.
Absolutely.
We've got to find a way to start getting in front of them.
We are, a couple things we have, and we're, I don't want to say taking advantage of it, but in this, one of the directors at Tribute to Valor is a Thunderbird pilot. He looks like he's 23 years old.
Yes.
Trevor Aldridge. He's a great speaker. He's very inspirational. His heart is obviously in this. He is on this same board of directors. We're clearly needing to go after and energize the youth, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. And I think we could do things like rucksack races and music festivals and car show. I mean, just, it's a different, I think our younger veteran, it's not the same type of gathering that our Vietnam and Korean veteran, they're not wanting to sit in a hospitality room and,
You're exactly
and
right.
talk so much. They're wanting to do things,
You're
so
exactly right.
I think Sam wanted to say something.
Sam, did you have something?
I will say, Mayor, more and more at the shows, I am seeing more. I mean, she's not wrong. We need to get in front of the Desert Storm vets, but I am seeing more. I'm visiting with more and more that are
Younger.
Gulf War, Desert Storm, younger. So that's good. But you're right. If you don't get in front of it,
Yep.
it'll be gone. It'll slip by. Sam, go ahead, Sam.
Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to speak to the topic of younger veterans and what the Chamber and CVB does to support the veterans here in town. So last year, we began an effort to reach out to young veterans from the different branches of the armed forces. And I'm happy to say that we do have a committee of them, local people, and they have come together for several committee meetings. And we have identified an event that will take place in 2025. This committee has very proudly named this event Rally Point Branson. So that will take place in the month of May in 2025. So we're super excited to announce that. It's a little premature. We don't have a formal rollout for that right now. But as Becky said, we have all been talking about this for quite a while. And they are excited about doing a car show, fishing tournament, golf tournament, whether it's almost like a tailgate event somewhere with music. They want to bring their families and they want to make it a family event. So that's something that we are very, very excited about, very proud to be involved in. And, you know, details TBD as we work with the committee and the young men on it. But I think it's very exciting, and we do want to bring the younger generation of veterans together with the older generations. And we know that they don't reunion like the older generations. They want a different format. So we're trying to bridge that gap and bring them all together.
Sam, that is so exciting. And just a thought, the closer you could make that to Armed Forces Day, we could have events throughout the month. So in my mind, if we could have start building on either side of that for some of these things that we're all doing for May. And I'm going to ask, thank you for saying all that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask, can we set up a time while we're all here? And what I'm going to encourage is, if Mary, if you and Becky, Sam, Veterans 913, if we could get together, our task force, maybe, and I'll look at a time here, but maybe on Friday, to visit with a couple Medal of Honor recipients, the Thunderbird pilot, Tony Orlando, and really sit down and at least have an initial discussion of what we can all do.
We'd be honored to do that. And also, to the point of all of us working together, we're happy to welcome that committee into the chamber office. It's a great location, and you know, we'll definitely be a part of that.
Okay? You all we just need to coordinate, and I know we're short on days, but I'm going to throw out, I know, but they're all sitting here. It's one of those things, we'll have your people call my people, and my people never return the call.
You don't mean us.
Do you want, no. Do you want to tentatively plan on Friday at 2 o'clock at the chamber?
Okay.
Well, I know that's off the cuff, but these guys are going to be in town only for a few days. Hold on one second. They're only going to be in town for a few days. I know you've heard of the STEM liner trip.
Absolutely.
So they're in town, STEM liner, I get to go with them. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday down to Houston, which is cool. But this is an opportunity to not just talk about it. And if this is too soon, it's too soon.
And
I just know Tony Orlando has retired from traveling, his entertainment, right? He is no longer performing. He's done. Tony Orlando lives in Branson. Tony Orlando, 20-something years ago, started the Yellow Ribbon Theater, gave the free shows to the veterans, is extremely patriotic. Tony's on the board of directors with Tribute. Tony's living here now. Tony's heart is to help what you guys are talking about. He doesn't want to get in the way, he doesn't want to lead it, but I'll tell you, he will be a very loud proponent and support it. So I think this is a golden opportunity for our community.
we will tentatively put it on the calendar, and Yvonne Long also is spearheading that committee for our organization, so I'll ask her to attend, and then whomever else, but we'll get a room at the chamber and
Okay,
put
and
it on
I
the
have
schedule.
everybody's information. Mary, would you get me your information? Okay. I see several hands being raised. Chamber. Sam, did you have anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you so much, Sam. Hold on a second. Becky, are you through your, this is supposed to be your presentation, right?
Yeah, but there was a Q&A on there.
Oh,
I
there,
just-
we're on that part of
We
your.
are on the Q&A, yes, sir. I did just want to mention that I had the pleasure of meeting a gentleman by the name of Sonny, and he is with the Warrior Reunion Foundation, and I was very unfamiliar with them. We have a military group, Desert Storm, booked at Westgate, and they had booked meeting space and rooms. A few months later, they canceled their meeting space, which made me so sad, like literally hurt my heart. And a few days later, we get a call from this gentleman, and he wants to have a meeting and pay for this group's meeting space. And so I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see about this. Well, here he comes with his checkbook, and he paid for their meeting space. I said, okay, tell me about this Warrior Reunion Foundation. And so what it is a group of people that their whole mission is to help Vietnam veterans still get together and still have their reunions. And they don't want money to stop them from doing that. So if this group needs to pay for meeting space or for ball caps or for the banquet dinner, that's what they're gonna do to make sure that our Vietnam veterans are still getting together and they're still having that time. And I said, well, what can I do to help you? What do you need? And he said, I can't find Vietnam veterans. You know, I was like, I know where they're at. I said, I have all the Vietnam veterans you would ever want. Come see me. Yes. I said, come see me during Veterans Week. And let's get you set up with a booth. Let's get you in our opening show, give you a little time where you can do a video and talk about what it is you do. And he was just blown away. He had never heard of Veterans Week in Branson, had no idea. And so he left just with his jaw on the floor. But before he left, he said, what can I do for you? I said, I can't find Desert Storm and Younger. And then even if I found them, I don't know what to do with them, for sure. But I can't find them. And he said, I have a whole database of Desert Storm and Younger. He's like, we need to work together. So they are coming during Veterans Week. They're very much wanting to collaborate with us on how to get them in front of more Vietnam veterans and to help us get in front of that younger veterans. So I feel like it was a God wink, and that this is definitely something that will help us, move forward in that direction.
Isn't that exciting?
It is.
That is exciting.
It is.
Pam, you see any opportunities with any of this? None?
Well, thank you for your time, gentlemen. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Hold on, you want to share a few words? Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, he thought. We need,
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, our president couldn't be here. But I did want to share a couple of things that.
Excuse me, sir. Could you give us your name?
Oh, my name is Dick Burkhalter.
Okay.
I'm past president of the Branson Veterans of America 913.
thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I'd like to echo a lot of what's been said here today, because we have been equally concerned about trying to reach out to the younger veterans. They don't seem to be connected. They don't have that unit camaraderie that occurred during Vietnam. So one of the things that we've done, or this would be our third year doing it, is to put on a Veterans Appreciation Day, and I'm adding the word expo. And what we're doing is at the shops at Branson Meadows, we're at the Branson Event Center, we are hosting an exposition in which we invite organizations, businesses that either support or serve veterans in one way or another. Last year we had 21 exhibitors. We're hoping to get more this year. We also had 400 visitors last year. And it comes with a variety. We have a free lunch for veterans, and we're going to have a car show too. Now, the point is that we need to be able to reach out to the
Yes.
younger veterans. We know that they're here. It's just trying to get to them so they can do it. And we just support all the efforts here and seek to partner with them. We had numerous veterans organizations from around the area that was involved. The VA was there. We actually signed up veterans at the expo for VA benefits. So this is a big thing that we put on, and we want to be able to partner with other veterans groups.
Exactly.
And we want to be a part of that organization so that we can reach out, because if we don't do it, nobody will.
It's a mission worth fighting for. It's so critical what you're talking about. So plugging in everybody under one roof, not that we're going to become more an organization, everybody has their own mission, tactic. But think of the value we can all get together and do. So
What we need more than anything else is PR.
Yeah,
It is so hard to get the word out.
yes,
I mean, we pass out flyers, we save the date cards.
yeah.
This year, we're scheduled for September 21st,
Okay.
running from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Dick, I'm assuming you're going to be included with the meetings we're going to talk about here?
We definitely want to be included with that.
There's a lot of things that we can all get together and share and benefit each other. I
Great.
appreciate your input very, very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Kathy, you had something?
I do, Mayor, thank you. First of all, Becky, I just want to thank you for reaching out to me to arrange this, and I appreciate, Becky approached me, and I think it was a Kansas City Chiefs event that we were, a big celebratory thing that we were at, and she talked about really needing more hands and feet to be able to put into motion, so it's not just about money, it's about volunteerism, and how do we encourage and embolden people to get involved in these types of causes, which are so worthy, as other speakers have said. I just wanted to also thank the CVB for stepping up to say and offer that meeting space. That's always at a premium, meeting spaces, as you all know. And then if something doesn't work out or there's scheduling conflicts and you need a big space, we'd be more than happy to allow you to meet in these chambers if you need that much space, or we'll make something work for you. The other thing is, on some of these bigger banquets, Mary, you were talking about some of these big dinners and things that you put on. If we can, once you guys get coordinated and you start to figure out what the needs are on logistics, I'd be happy to talk with the convention center management company and talk about, is there ways to offer meeting space or event space at, a cost, like just to cover the cost of foods and. Oh, okay, that's too bad. Okay. Understood. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Well, if they're, for the other groups out here, if that's something that you think you can make use of, I'd be happy to talk about that. And the other thing I wanted to share is just, again, once this is coordinated and we know who's doing what types of special events, we'd be more than happy to boost that messaging through our social media channels and other ways that we've got to help raise awareness in those areas too. So I'm just saying, from the city's perspective, the things that we're offering, my ears are open and doors are open as well. So thank you all for joining us tonight.
Pam, you want to? I'm so sorry. Pam, let this lady go first. Let this lady go first. I'm so sorry. She's going to think, what kind of mayor is this? Everybody gets to go in front of him.
Hi, I'm Denise Elledge, and I'm lived in Branson for a while, but I have what's called veteranshow.com, which you'll see that on those flyers that we passed out. I started with the Walmart tribute to the veterans when I was a store manager for Walmart, and then we've just grown. And we do 10 events, Mary and I, and we team up with Becky when we can, and we also put her events on that calendar. Pat, She gets a phone call from me with some corny idea all the time. So, but anyway, we were talking about our young guys. We do, on there, you'll see on the 7th of November, it's called the Sandbox Party. And it's at Mel's Hard Luck Diner. He pays for the entire event for us. And this last year, some had already left before we got them in the picture, but we had over 28 this last year, and I know there'll be more. I get phone calls all the time. Hey, I was at your event last year, absolutely enjoyed it, and I'm bringing so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. But I moved back to Iowa because my grandkids are there. But I come down and I do this every year. I plan, and Mary and I are on the phone all the time, and I put these events together because veterans are my dear love. My dad is a Korean vet. And, and he's 93. He'll be 94 this year, but doing great. But he'll tell you stories, and that's the education.
You bet.
And I always try to tell young kids, hey, I try to get my grandkids all the time, hey, come to Branson with me during Veterans Week, but their mom always says no. But it's so important. But what I do up there also is we have these calendars that we gave you. This is our second printing. The first printing goes out in the welcome bags Veterans Week. The first one for next year's events. And I know that, like, when I asked Becky, you got the events ready? She's like, what? But we get them in there, and I get phone calls starting right away. Hey, I was at your Vietnam event, and I want to be at the Vietnam event this year, and I've got 5 other couples that are coming with us that have never been to Branson. So can we go ahead and put them in? And I'm like, yes. And so what we do as a team is so important. But also, one thing we could do that would really help, and I don't know if the CVP, the chamber could do it, or if we could get someone in these meetings. But I spend most of my year contacting large corporations. And I'm like, hey, these guys fought for you so you can do what you're doing. And that's where we get a lot of our money. And a couple of years ago, we got a lot from the Rush Limbaugh Foundation. And those are where we reach out at. I mean, I've sit and listen to a radio station, and I'll hear of a new place, and I'm like, oh, that's a place I need to call. So then I write it down, the next day I do it. But that's what we need to do is, we can't milk everybody from town. We just can't do that. So we need to milk them from the country. And it's so important that we do that. So we might need somebody to be on that.
I hate to cut you off. We're running short on time.
No, that's fine.
Everything you're sharing, and I'm going to suggest to you, what you're doing and what many others are doing is so flippin' important. I just can't imagine with all of us getting together. We all don't need to go generate a list, right? If somebody has a list, we'll share the list. I think just the collaboration of everybody, the sky's the limit. And I don't think there's a better place to do that than Branson, Missouri. I'm going to ask Pam to speak, and I want you to please stay in touch with all of us.
Yeah, and I will stay in touch with everybody, but I can tell you right now that recruiting officers at, different places, pulling in, saying, hey, this is what's going on in Branson. Hey, can I talk to you a little more about it? Makes a huge difference, because I brought 12 down last year.
Good point.
from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So,
Thank you, Denise.
I won't take up much time, but I want to say thank you to everyone here that is sharing your heart and your time, your hands and your money to support the veterans' efforts. My dad passed away 2 years ago. He was a Korean veteran as well. And so it's near and dear to my heart. I've heard so many things here tonight, and I think it goes back to one of the things that I talk about a lot. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't know that everybody knows, everybody's informed. And so I will say this, I say this all the time, and it's just like you said, Mayor, when we all work together, there's nothing we can't accomplish. And so staying informed and knowing what's going on and working together for a common goal. And I can't think of anything better than to work to support and show appreciation to the veterans of our country. We have something special in Branson that's not anywhere else. I hear it time and time and time again. And it's because we have people here that are passionate about making sure that we show the respect that is due to our veterans. And so, you know, this meeting that we're going to get together, hopefully we can get on the same page. We can start talking about what's going on, because we can't, and I think it needs to be in a unified message. I think we all need to be able to talk about what's coming up, what's going on. But I think we have a real opportunity to take May of every year and turn it into something spectacular, and we all need to work together to make that happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pam. Okay, so what a great meeting. This is one of the best study sessions I've had in years. Becky, thank you for causing this to happen. Boy, is this exciting. Kirk, you excited? Okay. Any veterans, anybody that want to stick around at the first part of our meeting that starts at 6, I am going to be reading a proclamation for our Armed Forces Day and the month of May. And if you want to be here, it's for you, right? That's who this is for. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.